contemporary of Margot's, compared her to Venus. A Neapolitan ambassador rhapsodized that she was the greatest beauty in the world, and declared that if he had left the kingdom without seeing her, on my return, if I were asked had I seen France and the court, I could scarcely say I had. Her biographer and sometime correspondent, the Abbé de Brantôme, devoted several pages of a manuscript to her ravishing personal charms, observing finally of her décolletage that never was seen the like in form and whiteness. Less flattering, but more telling, perhaps, was the opinion of the Spanish grandee Don John of Austria, illegitimate son of the Emperor Charles V. "The beauty of that queen is more divine than human," he was reported to have remarked after staring at her for some time at an official state reception. "She is made to damn and ruin men rather than to save them." But it was not just her glamour that drew the inhabitants of Paris out into the streets. The population, overwhelmingly Catholic themselves, adored the princess, who was generous as well as charming, and felt betrayed by this wedding. It was well known even among the common people that Margot was in love, and had been for years, not with her intended, but with Henri, the handsome Duke of Guise, and that this dashing young nobleman reciprocated her passion. A marriage between these two would have been a cause for wild celebration in Paris, for the Duke of Guise, as the head of the powerful Catholic faction at court, was so venerated throughout the capital that he was treated as a hero, and his prestige exceeded that of the King Charles IX himself. But the Queen Mother, Catherine de Medici, had no intention of encouraging the ambitions of the Guise family, whose influence and popularity threatened her government, by granting them so great a prize. Henri had been summarily expelled from court and forced to marry another woman. "If he should ever cast his eyes upon her again, I will proclaim him renegade and miscreant, and make him bite the ground with a dagger in his heart," Marguerite's brother, the Duke of Anjou, had hissed after Henri was safely wedded. Deplorable enough that Margot had been prevented from marrying the public favorite, but far worse that she was now to be allied to the King of Navarre, leader of the Huguenot party, as the French Protestants were called. The majority of the Parisian populace loathed and feared the Huguenots. Huguenots attacked Catholic churches, destroying precious relics and statues that they claimed were evidence of idolatry. They refused to attend Mass, and worked openly to abolish sacred ceremonial processions. Parisians had no doubt that, should the Huguenots succeed in seizing power in France, as it was obvious they were trying to do, the Catholic population would be either forced to convert or suffer annihilation. But the Queen Mother had inexplicably insisted upon this marriage, had pushed relentlessly for its consummation for over a year, until at last she had overcome all objections. The King of Navarre and his Huguenot entourage refused to enter the cathedral or partake of the traditional nuptial mass? Very well, the ceremony would be performed outside the church on a specially constructed open-air platform. The Pope declined to grant a dispensation to allow Margot to marry her heretical cousin. At the last minute, Catherine de Medici claimed to have received the necessary permission, and as proof she waved a bit of parchment in the air. Although the union was portrayed publicly as an attempt to heal the wounds of religious conflict, the Queen Mother's urgency hinted at other, less altruistic motives. The 18-year-old King of Navarre's principal military advisor and mentor, Gaspard de Coligny, was known to be actively pursuing a marriage between his protégé and Elizabeth I, the Protestant Queen of England. Such an alliance was unthinkable for France. It would have given the English a strong foothold on the continent from which to launch an assault against the western border of the kingdom. Catherine de Medici had other plans for Elizabeth I. Coligny was called to court, where he was made the beneficiary of a series of royal favors and privileges.